Also, I haven't slept, so if my accent comes out a lot more, it's because I haven't slept. Because I am a proprietor of healthy habits.
Oh, that's a good thing to know
Well,
up front.
so do I.
Hello and welcome to the AWKWARDCast. AWKWARD, Keyframe, Wonderworld, Random Dribble. And today with us, now we don't have the face reveal after all instantly. Should we rewind this? I can rewind it if you want.
Yeah, because I started with this.
Oh.
Wait, I gotta just...
Yeah, but
he put it away again. He put it away again. I guess they have...
God, take three. Got it.
Take three.
Hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast. AWKWARD, Keyframe, Wonderworld, Random Dribble. And today with us, oh my, who might that be, I wonder? It is... And nobody knows his face.
Yeah, because this is technically my face reveal.
I guess not, but is it?
Exclusive to the AWKWARDcast.
But is it really, I wonder? Is this your face reveal? I dare to say it might not be, and if this would be loading quicker, then it would be a better transition. For fuck's sake, how slow is VLC? VLC is horribly slow. Okay, whoa! So,
Is that Andy interviewing?
Yes.
Why? Oh, were you in this vlog?
May I just say, I'm your biggest fan. And, I just was wondering, is it possible for me to
the good old...
I really...
There on the left!
Oh.
On the left!
See, I have a great story about Max involving AC and Saber Slark.
9!
Side of the face reveal, I guess.
Oh, profile reveal. Ooh.
Exactly.
Can I just say though, when I hung out with AC and Saber at like Babs and Winnie, I was like, oh yeah, when I was talking about like A and Y and stuff, and he was like, why does that name sound familiar? Yeah, he's like the German guy that wears the vest and stuff. Oh, he was that guy from Brony Fair that we had be like a fanboy? That is your legacy, according to AC Race Best.
That is the video.
But yes, Gray, welcome to the show.
Oh yeah, right. Hi.
Exactly.
Since people now know your face, they might want to know more. For example, who are you? What do you do? And why should people care? Ha! That's a segue.
I'm so sorry, Gray. This is the most shit show opening we've had in a while. But yes, who are you, Gray? Please, tell us your life story.
Why do I not have any pictures prepared?
You can go to my FA or my DA.
That is an idea, but I wanted to use a self-indulgent one, but they're probably also on DA. Please, keep talking.
Yeah. So, I'm Grey Silvermane, also known as Greycat or Greycat R. And I've been... Basically, I've been doing art for... I'm trying to think, but I believe I've been doing internet art since 2002, I guess. Mostly furry art, and then of course I incorporated pony into this. I'm an animator as my day job. I do both just 2D stuff like still images. I do storyboards. And I also do YouTube videos, although I haven't done one for a while. Probably my most successful was my Nightmare Night Society Home by the Sea.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Certain people were in it.
Yeah, you were twice.
Hey!
I was never. I believe.
You might be next time, although I'm actually working on one. Right now, because last year there wasn't one because basically because of what was going on in my real life, I got a lot less time to make it than I expected, and at a certain point I realized I was half-assing it. I wanted to make it better than last time, and this time, and if I was going at the pace I was going, I would just have, like I said, half-assed it. So I decided to put it on hold. I might release it in the summer, kind of like Link does his Midsummer Nightmare or something with what's his Go character?
The long box of the damn thing?
Yeah.
Ah, that guy. Yeah. But
Yeah.
speaking of real life, Mr. Greycat, has anything been going on in the life of Grey? Tell us.
2 weeks ago, I went on vacation. I went over to the Polish Sea. Although I didn't live in a house by the sea, I lived in a hotel.
I get Max.
Hmm?
I feel like we're diverting attention from our guest with that picture.
But
there we go.
it wasn't done by him.
So was this one.
Exactly, which is also like desperately trying to find an image back there, and I'm like, hey, the banner on half my media, on half my channels.
Give me a
But
second.
anyway, Hotel by the Sea. Please tell us more.
Basically, I was just taking in the sea air, and I probably got enough iodize for the whole year. It was too cold to swim, so I just dipped my feet in the sea a few times. And, well, generally I just rested. I kind of rebooted my systems.
That's good. That's healthy. Get back to work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyways.
I'm of course doing art as we speak, and if you want to see something newer, this is a teaser for something I'm doing with Brett and Tricky.
Is it something that will get us banned?
Depends.
Okay, no, it's safe. Is that Golden getting seduced by Zephyr Breeze?
Yes.
Ooh.
I love it, but I hate it at the same time.
Why?
Because
Why
Zephyr
do you
Breeze
hate
is in it, so I love it, but I don't like the situation.
Well, it's only about, like, I would say it's 1/3 of the picture, so you will see more of it when it's done. It's actually mostly done. This is just a picture I already had screen grabbed.
Great, I just need you to draw 1,000,000 Zephyr Breeze for me by tomorrow. Thank you. Because I am Zephyr Breeze trash, and this makes me happy. I know you hate Zephyr Breeze, which makes me like him more because you hate him. Hey, any artist out there that's watching, draw A&Y dressed up as Zephyr Breeze, I will send you $10 via PayPal.
You know what? Here.
Yes, I got to deal with the glasses
Wait,
for once. I need to align. There we
Here's
go.
here's another one that he didn't show that should be kind of indulgent.
I have this actually already prepared for later, so I will come back to this one.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Hey, this works for the media, but yeah, besides all that, A&Y, has anything exciting happened in your life?
You mean, wait, where is it? You mean despite the disfiguration of my beautiful, beautiful face?
Oh, I was going to talk about that with my week, but okay. Because I had all of them saved. Because this is a journey. This has story. This has backstory and lore behind it. But please, do you want to tell me your reaction to when you saw this beautiful piece of art?
I mean, this one was already the third one in line, so...
Yes, but I will say that all 3 of them were fantastic.
At this point in time, my emotions already went completely numb, and I was done with living, so...
What about when you saw the first one?
I mean, the first one, it at least had the tongue out, and I came to the realization you have too many pictures of me.
Hey, these are pictures you sent, mister, so...
Yeah, also remember, I have the picture of you wearing a bra.
That is true.
That is very true.
Which one?
The black one.
Yeah.
But yes. Do you have anything else to say? Besides anything else going on?
I believe it was one of those unspectacular weeks, except for kids. Gambling is bad, especially when you do it with airline flights. There is a lot of money involved.
Do you want to expound on this?
It's just like there's a 60-day rule, and I was like, okay, since I'm already below the 60 days, all bets are off, or so I can just see what happens. And you see, here's the thing. So I had a very shitty connection with which went into the wrong direction. Like I want to fly to USA, and I start in Berlin, and then it sends me to Warsaw, Warsaw, whatever it's called in English.
Warszawa.
Warsaw, and it has 5 hours of waiting there, or even longer, while starting in the wrong direction. So I was like, okay, let's wait. And then suddenly one for Delta popped up, and I was like, hey, and it had a very good return time. The other one was returning late at night, and with having work right the next day, it would be like, yeah, returning a little bit more in the afternoon sounds great. Then I waited one more day, and the price went up by 150 euros.
Yeah.
And so now I'm back to gambling. Let me check the current prices.
Yeah, let me just say this. I screen capped this specific part of our conversation when I was like, hey, how's the airline flight? And he was like, oh, well, my gambling almost seemed good. And then I said, I don't like the luck that you have. And then he messaged me, but then this happened with the price jump. And then I screen capped it. Then I sent it to Saber and Lauren. Then they were like, oof, Max, what a dumbass, which was from Lauren. And then Saber was
Who
like...
are you calling a dumbass?
And then Saber was like, oh, he likes living on the edge, doesn't he? And I said, no, this ain't living on the edge. This is walking a tightrope made out of dental floss.
Okay, I kind of have a related story to this.
Yeah?
I think it was in 95 when I was visiting my family in Bayern, Germany.
Yeah.
And it was during one of the bigger floods in Poland in the recent history.
Mm-hmm.
And the only train connection that for a while was available from this region of Germany to Warsaw, Poland, where I live, it was from Munich, Germany, through Kiev in Ukraine, Moscow in Russian, and in Warsaw, Poland.
So 3 times. What?
Yes.
Did you just make a Bermuda European triangle there? Because this sounds stupid.
That was the only connection for a while. Fortunately, they found one place that didn't flood yet, and we went through this section, and immediately after we passed it, it got flooded.
That's oof. That's a big oof there, my dude.
No, the bigger oof was that later we had a ton of mosquitoes.
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah.
Fucking when I lived in New York and we had the subway and stuff, that would flood all the time, and then mosquitoes would be everywhere. And it's like, I went underground to get away from bugs. I don't want to go back. But so it was just one of those weeks. Besides, gambling is bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you about my week. Oh, let me give you guys a basic skinny about what the end of May is like for good old Christine Bucola. This weekend, I have to go to Everfree, so I fly out on Thursday, and I get back on Monday. And I'm home Tuesday. Then I have to fly out to Atlanta on Wednesday for MomoCon with DA Games. And then on top of that, for people who don't know, I work at a YouTube channel called Pencilmations, who makes a bunch of silent family cartoon things. And the first cartoon that I did color design for came out, so this person now has an official IMDb page.
Ooh,
nice.
Which makes me very happy, and I can't put a photo of myself on IMDb because I would need to get one of those pro accounts, and I don't want to pay money because I'm cheap. But besides that, I've been doing like supervising work, and I can't expound, but I had like 4 different people that I had to supervise this week, and that was fun. Basically, being like, let me tell you everything you did wrong, which is essentially my job. And that is great. But, so it's basically been working. And then I had this weekend off. And I was like, you know what? For once, I'm not going to work on Pencilmation stuff on my weekend off. So what do I do with my time? I opened up Photoshop and decided to make cursed images. And it was, this was essentially the spiritual successor to when me, Oblivion Fallen Sean, made a bunch of Photoshops of Max holding a piece of paper.
I recall those too.
This was a fantastic journey because I was in a Discord call with Mr. Aficionados Chris and Michael Edwards, previous guests of the podcast. They could have stopped me at any time, and they were like, "This is awful, Chrissy. This is awful, Chrissy. Desaturate his face a bit more, Chrissy." Surprisingly enough, it didn't take that long to actually get his face to merge with Kermit's in any of the pictures, because all he had to do was turn the desaturation down like a little bit, and his hair already kind of blended with the ears. And I was like, how can I make this worse? That one. Because I was like, he radiates Kermit energy with that one. I'm really proud of my work there. But then I was like, how do I step it up? And that is with the power of 3. When I finished this, I was screen sharing this on Appearin, and Chris looked at it and was like, what the hell am I looking at? And I was like, I don't know, but I hate it. Time to put it on Twitter. I think the part that I knew that I did something awful was when I put him on Peach's face and I didn't have to do shit because his skin matched the color of the fur. And I was like, either ANY's face is secretly an Italian greyhound's, or the Italian greyhound somehow looked like Max. He is no longer a ferret, people. His persona is now an Italian greyhound.
My secret is finally out.
But yes.
And my dislike for Kermit is actually the result of a family. No, it's a result of a family bloodshed, whatever. Yeah, but
So you're related with Watkins from the Wilkins Coffee commercials.
Yes, thank you, Jenna Marbles. Your dogs are my canvas. And ANY is my muse for cursed content. Please come on our podcast. But that was my week. Besides going to see a certain film.
So now we have the problem that we have the gentleman's problem. We both were basically, yeah, sure, you can have it, and we both have alternative media. So I guess the plan is neither of us talks about it, and we both pick our alternative media.
No, I want to talk about Detective Pikachu, damn it, okay, but I also want to talk about my alternative media. So, Gray, you go first.
Okay, so I decided to show up something I actually been wanting to get for a while, something related to the very first fandom I was, in a way, a part of. And a few months ago, they started releasing these.
Oh.
Yeah. The camera a bit more. Up.
Wrong direction. For fuck's sake. There we go.
Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Yeah, this is basically a hardcover collection of the Marvel series, both the US version and the UK version by Simon Furman and Bob Bodiansky. Later, they will also be releasing the IDW and a few other like Regeneration 1. Which at this point I don't remember who released those. Yeah, and basically I get these every 2 weeks. Right now I have 9 volumes. And these are, like I said, it's mostly just the G1, the US version, the original, and then you have the British one, which was technically it was like a in-canon filler because there is the US Marvel and there's Marvel UK, and they had completely different schedules. And basically the first idea was just for there to be a 4-issue miniseries, and then it decided, because it was successful, they decided to make it an ongoing series. And like I said, because of the differences in release schedules of the UK and US, versions, especially since I believe the UK was like half the volume, half the size of each issue. So they release them like weekly, but with half issues. And well, they basically just decided to make a lot of filler, and a lot of them is actually much more interesting than just the main story.
Do the Insecticons come in at any point?
Yes, but I don't believe I have those issues right now.
Damn it, but the Insecticons are the best part. And I'm not just saying that because I had only those toys as a kid.
Give me a second, I'll check for a second.
What are you doing, Max? You keep like leaning off screen.
Oh yeah, I was also checking the text.
I have them.
The text is actually in Polish. Oh yeah, and there we have Insecticons.
Yeah, we have.
Yes, I love the Insecticons. But yeah, so who do you recommend these comics to, and vice versa? Like, who wouldn't like them?
Probably Polish people.
Well, yeah. Although I believe that this is just a Polish import of already existing like release of them. I mean, this kind of hardcover collection. And yeah, basically, if you're a fan of G1, because at this point it's only G1, and later on they will include the further series. Especially since in Poland we didn't get the UK stuff, and because, like I said, those were shorter, but there was a lot more of them. Here we go. You can also see the UK covers, which I especially love about this.
Oh, so it's like the trades where you see all like the variant covers in the back or something? I love it. That's why I like to buy trades, is because then you have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you can also have additional information, interviews, and stuff like that. Although I'm waiting for an issue that has the Transformers Index, basically the whole BIOS thing. Also, as a small bonus, I decided to pull this out.
Whoa.
What is that?
This is a box with my original comics.
Oh, that is a big old tin.
Actually, it's made of paper, so it's not a tin.
Who cares? It's a tin in my world.
Yeah, here's like. Here we go.
You keep pointing in the wrong way.
I just want to say, basically in front of your face.
Yeah.
Just hold it in front of your face. This
you have the issue of Spider-Man before he was erased. Yeah, because technically Transformers started as a part of the Marvel universe, of the main Marvel universe, but then they decided that it doesn't blend in that well with the main Marvel universe, although it would be weird for them to be in the MCU.
Are you saying that we could have had a timeline where Thanos teamed up with the Decepticons?
Possibly. Although I don't know.
God damn it, we are in the worst timeline.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, basically like they just blacked out because this was Black Suit Spider-Man at this point. So they just erased his Spider Emblem, and he was just some kind of spy.
Sure.
You had cameos from Nick Fury. I don't remember who else.
Paul Parker, not Peter Parker.
Maybe.
Paul Porter.
Yeah. So basically, they just limited them from the whole Marvel universe, just so it's the Transformers and G.I. Joe, or if you're in the UK, Action Force.
Wait, they didn't. They changed the name of G.I. Joe, and what? Why?
Yeah. For whatever reason, in British release, they are called Action Force.
I mean, I believe the term of GI, being a GI, is specifically American, or is it also used in British English?
But G.I. Joe, is one of the most American cartoons. So unless they censor the cartoon when they moved it to the UK and put the Union Jack in the background instead of the American flag, I don't see a reason why to change it.
Because it might still because GI.
Here we have the intro.
Oh wait, we have an intro.
Then kids can just learn what a GI is.
But why? Why shouldn't British kid care about the? Okay, let's see.
You should care about world culture. That's why.
But Cobra is still Cobra. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I hate this. This is
And no, it doesn't ring. It doesn't.
This is cursed. I hate it. I hate it.
But okay, now I want to see and ooh. But still
This feels like a bootleg.
British bootleg.
I blame the royal family. How dare you, Queen Elizabeth? You ruined G.I. Joe.
Huh? That's the thing. So, anything else you wanted to add on the Transformers?
Well, like I said, this is basically my first ever fandom I was like consciously part of ever since I was like 5 or something. I have like a ton of figures. I have almost 500 figures. I actually got a bunch yesterday. G1 figures from these are actually older than I am by 1 year.
Aww.
Nerd, why would you have items based off of something you like? Like, really? Totally ridiculous. Anyway, Max, what's your media?
This is my chance to not take Detective Pikachu.
But then I can't talk about the Hamilton Endgame video.
Fine, I guess I can postpone mine for any later point in time. Hey! I guess what I intended to do my tag on to your take on it is now the main take. And
I'll tag on it. Yeah.
How does
you are Tim and I am Pikachu.
How does somebody who is as unfamiliar with the Pokemon phenomenon as somebody as nerdy as me can be, not sure if the sentence still came up making sense at the end of it. So yeah, I have basically shit to do with Pokemon. I obviously know about it. I can recognize many of them because they are omnipresent, being it as references in videos, being it simply art on DA, on Fur Affinity, wherever. So
you're the missing number. You are the missing number.
Yes, he is missing no. He is missing no. Like,
yeah.
See, a not nerd about Pokemon doesn't know what that is.
Apparently, but yeah.
I'm surprised that I don't know if you watch that much of Linkara.
I did used to watch Linkara. I also remember that he had an entire story arc based on the glitch, which was from one of the early Pokemon games. But yeah, I have never played any Pokemon game, being it Go, which even my not nerdy colleagues picked up some point when it was on the peak of its hype because they are hipsters. This is embarrassing times at my company. Let's not talk about it.
What were they walking into the break room trying to catch a Bulbasaur or some shit?
No, Yuri and I, who are actual nerds, were just sitting there when the head of partner management was running around with his iPhone like, in my break I catch Pokemon. We're like, ooh, okay. Do we look that weird from the outside? Anyways, so I mean, it was on TV. I believe I zapped in for 2 or 3 episodes at some point. But yeah, basically not familiar with it at all. So I mean, the most interesting part would probably be to get somebody in there and get their feedback who is really not at all familiar with it, but yeah, I'm probably the best you guys can get used to it.
But yeah, how did it fit the palette of a non-Pokemon person?
Interesting to the point where, okay, certain things you just I could feel where I was dancing the balance of the suspension of disbelief, where I'm like, hey, somebody who's really not familiar with it would probably be like, why is this happening? This doesn't make sense.
Like what, if I may ask?
I don't know. I mean, I'm familiar enough with Pokemon to understand the concept of them having evolutions and shit. And I could imagine, like, the one scene with Magikarp. I mean, probably somebody who has no plan of Pokemon would be like, blah? When seeing it. So for me, it was like, oh yeah, I heard this. Yeah, this, I get this. Yeah, I get this, why this happened.
Okay.
Like, yeah, Magikarp is total shit until it evolves, and then
until level 20.
And then it becomes Gyarados, and it's
exactly.
fucking scary.
Exactly. But yeah, so I had to do just a lot of suspension of disbelief and of deal with it. I mean, I was aware that they usually can only say their own name, and then we have Detective Pikachu, who can, at least to this one person, talk like, which might even have been easier for me to buy in, because I am not a Pokemon fan. And then again, there's Meow, or whatever it's called in English.
Meowth, you got it pretty close.
Yeah, I just gave the German name, so the German translators got it pretty close. Overall, a story which was surprisingly intriguing. I mean, it's not made for an older audience, so it has a very basic plot lines. When they do their detectiving, they can just go somewhere and without getting stopped by guards or anything, where it's like, really a high security fence, and they can just walk in there, really.
I mean, okay, to be fair, they did get caught, but from a distance. So.
Yeah, but still, it's like a lot of elements where it's like simpler, without compromising the story too much, like keeping it simple. I mean, obviously, the humor, you need to be into Ryan Reynolds to enjoy it or not, because he is running the show. I mean, it's literally named after him. I mean, he is Detective Pikachu. What else can I say without going into spoilers? And even things which were seeming a little bit weak early on, in hindsight, when there were conclusions at the end, were like, oh, okay. Now, okay. So clever stuff done there. And yeah, overall, I would probably just go down the line of Shafrilla, and who already made a video on it, and he was like, yeah, he enjoyed his time at the cinema. And what else can you... and that, I mean, yes, you can demand more from a cinema interview, but cinema going. But yeah, I also had a really good time watching it, and was not too offset by not being a Pokemon fan. So that's a good thing, I guess. So
now to tag along.
Exactly.
Okay.
How does a Pokemon fan experience the movie?
Yeah. Okay. So just to give context, my first game that I remember playing was Pokemon Gold on the Game Boy. That was my first game that I've ever have the cognitive memory of playing while watching the original Pokemon animes. I think all the way to fucking Black and White or Diamond and Pearl. I am more of a Pokemon fan than I let on. But no, I think that they did the most genius thing by basing this movie in the Detective Pikachu universe, because this is based off an actual game, but it's more of a spin-off game. And that's why Rhyme City in the game and in the movie, I played Detective Pikachu a long time ago. That's why they put it in this land where there's not like battles or anything. It's very peaceful, but yet they established the world well enough that I feel that they established the whole concept of trapping a Pokemon in the Pokeball in the first 5 minutes. Also, what happens when you don't capture it? And then the whole. I think they were able to incorporate Pokemon in the universe as believably as you can, imagining pocket monsters in a universe, and also incorporating just the whole like, what would you do if you had pocket monsters? And also, the movie looks great. Like they were able to make these Pokemon not in the Uncanny Valley. And one of the things that's genius about it is that, most film is shot digital.
Yeah.
Not this movie. This movie was actually shot on 35 millimeter because they realized if they shot it on digital, the Pokemon would look even more out of place. So they shot it on film instead.
Interesting.
Which is really cool. Also, the whole concept, I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but what the enhancement subplot is. Oh my goodness! Let's just say Torterra. Torterra is really fucking cool.
But then again, this was kind of this particular scene was a bit of a stretch, I have to say, to suspension of disbelief wise. Like, how did nobody notice?
Well, okay. To be
just
fair,
saying, how did nobody notice?
To be fair, the Pokemon of Torterra has a literal
but
landscape
still.
on its back. So. But their choice of Pokemon was great because they incorporated not just stuff from the original 150, like Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Jigglypuff, Psyduck, so on and so forth. They also incorporated stuff like Greninja, which is a much more recent Pokemon generation, and Pandorisu and Apom and all that stuff. So it was
they included a Sneasel, and I was happy to see him in the trailer.
Yes, it was so good. And I also love the I just Ryan Reynolds is amazing and I love him and he's great, and God, this movie would not be nearly as good without him.
Probably.
It needed that twist. It needed that humor. But the main thing I like about the movie is something that I talked about on Twitter when I think Saber was saying that how he enjoyed the movie. A lot of people's complaints is that the story is simple, that the story is something that's been done before, that it's a trope. I think but the thing is, I would rather a simple story that's executed well than an overblown smoke up your ass story that has no soul.
I completely agree.
You can tell in this movie that they cared about this movie. Like, it's a ridiculous concept. They had a simple story, and they were like, okay, let's take this simple story and have as much fun with it as possible. Like Game Freak, the people who make Pokemon were heavily involved with the movie to make sure it's good. And I would rather that. I don't think we should look down on simple stories. I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. Movies are a sense of escapism and having fun. That is the point of going to a movie. That is the whole point of why cinema became a thing. And I don't see what's wrong with going to a fun movie like Detective Pikachu and just having an hour and a half of escaping into this silly world of talking Pokemon. And I feel like people being so critical about the movie when the movie knows exactly what it is. It's not trying to be anything above what it is. And I feel like this is why Detective Pikachu is that big thing of telling the difference between critics and audience, in that critics are much more pretentious. Let's just say that. But I feel like people should go see this movie. It's a lot of fun. And and you know what? After Endgame, where you feel sad, go to Detective Pikachu and have some fun, and maybe go see Shazam. It needs more money.
Oh, Shazam also. Shazam, I mean, I already mentioned, but good stuff. I mean, let's throw in some superlatives out there. I mean, I would say Shazam, best DCEU movie. I mean, admittedly, I will leave room for argument with Wonder Woman, but still. Otherwise, I would say Shazam. At least, definitely most fun DCEU movie. And while we're on it, Detective Pikachu. Probably best video game movie.
I
Yeah.
actually still have to see Shazam because every time I wanted to see him, something came up. So I will try to see it like this week, maybe. Yeah.
I would say, but yeah, I agree. I would say Detective Pikachu is probably the best video game movie. The only movie that combats it is the Mortal Kombat movie because the Mortal Kombat movie's fun as fuck, and I don't care. Don't at me. But like, also, I didn't know Bill Nye was in this movie till I went to go see it,
Same here.
and that was the most like I remember Brett because me and Golden Fox went to go see the movie, and he was like, wait, is that Bill Nye?
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, shh. Second of all, yeah, it is.
But also as a detective guy, the older detective is also a very famous dude.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but
And
I do. But
where you
he's
know him
a
from,
very
yeah.
famous Asian actor,
Yes.
like right below George Takei as an Asian American actor. So
Toshiro Mifune?
yes,
Okay.
Where do we know him from again?
He was in a lot of stuff.
Exactly. That's why I was like, oh my
he's
god.
a very famous character actor.
Yes,
like that's what he is.
exactly.
But I would say people who want to go have a fun time, go see Detective Pikachu. People who hate simple stories and not like having fun, don't go see Detective Pikachu.
That's the thing to
If you hate fun,
If you hate fun, go watch Endgame again. Or
go help Endgame defeat Avatar.
or watch any other any DCEU movie except for Shazam because they're all not fun.
Go see Ugly Dolls. God knows that movie.
Oh
was
my.
worse. But yeah,
then
I
again,
guess we should. Yes,
Aquaman actually tried being fun,
it
and it was better than anybody before, but in the fun regards, not in.
I would say that it was fun. It wasn't as much fun as probably some would like. I had fun with it.
Yeah, I also had fun, but now that we have Shazam, it's like Aquaman.
Let's just give Aquaman a little sticker that says "You tried" on it.
Exactly. Let's go back to making jokes about semen.
But yeah, I guess to my media, that's not Detective Pikachu. Speaking of Endgame, I found this.
Is this a spoiler heavy?
No, it's only based off the stuff that's in the Endgame trailer. So it's nothing that's actually in the movie. Also, even the directors themselves have said the spoiler wall is gone. If you haven't seen Endgame yet, that's your fucking fault. But no, what this group of people did is that they took pretty much every song from Hamilton, mashed it into one 13-minute special, and made a whole animatic describing Endgame through Hamilton. It's fucking amazing. Just like all the effort they go to try to mix everything together. And, you know, you can tell that these people don't all have the same mic quality. But it's the effort that got put into it. And how do you imagine the Avengers doing Hamilton? I guess as much as you can imagine the founding father singing hip-hop, but if you ever want to hear Captain America basically sing My Shot, Rocket Raccoon doing The World Was Wide Enough, and fucking Ant-Man going on an amazing, like, scat riff, it's great. I love it so much. I've been watching this religiously for like a week. And also the fact it's a full animatic that's 13 minutes long. That is just but and also, you know, if you like Hamilton, if you like the Avengers, if you like people actually putting effort into content on YouTube, watch it. Really, this was my secondary content because all I wanted to talk about was Detective Pikachu. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. I guess
Go
we
watch
all
it. I
can
don't want to
watch.
share.
Yeah.
I don't want to share too much
It's
about
true.
it because then what's the point of watching it?
It's true, since we're only talking a 13-minute video. Link in the description down below, obviously.
Go watch
Also-
it and tell me how I'm Hamilton trash,
Oh, you
because,
are
well,
complete
this was my
Hamilton.
way of incorporating Hamilton into the Awkward Cast again, because this was
Has
one
been a while,
Hamilton.
hasn't it?
Well, Hamilton's
never
one of
actually
those blacklist topics I'm not allowed to talk about, apparently.
Actually, I never heard Hamilton.
Oh no!
Well,
Oh no!
That's because it's not popular.
We
in
can't
this
be
region.
friends anymore. I regret bringing you on this podcast. How dare you?
I will send you to the Haunted Mansion. That's an opera.
I mean, you mean the Phantom of the Opera? The Haunted Mansion's a Disneyland ride. Oh God, he's gone. I offended him.
No.
You okay? Gray?
Well, we lost him.
Oh, well.
I mean,
no. Oh, he's back.
I'm talking this Haunted Mansion.
The one
It's
the
an
bit-
opera.
Hold it
yeah,
in front of your face. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Better.
Sorry, the English is Haunted Manor.
Oh, okay. That's different. But yes, speaking of which, we can always just talk about how I'm obsessed with many things. But you know what I'm obsessed with?
Questions.
Answering questions.
Exactly.
Welcome to the Q&A. Great.
Also, I only today realized... What? Why is it not giving me anything? I only today realized that I forgot to put the hashtag in the link for this episode. So I have nothing on Twitter, but thank goodness that our trusted fans in the Discord... I just forgot to put it in there. At least I didn't misspell it like last time.
Max, you do this every week. How do you fuck that up?
I'm good like that.
Good is a subjective term. Anyways.
I will give the club to Crazy, and once she does it with you, it's her decision.
I can do many things with the club. Anyway, so Derek Ed asks, except A&Y since he's never played Pokemon, which of the Pokemon generations do you like the most? Gen 2. There's my answer. Because it has better Pokemon.
I would say Generation 5. Because this is actually the first actual game I played from start to finish.
Gen 1, because it's the only one where I even have a little bit of tangential knowledge because I saw 2 episodes on TV.
I know what a Squirtle is.
I know Meow, and Meow is fun.
Is that the only one you know besides
Yes,
Pikachu?
because it can talk.
Can we just have a whole podcast where we show pictures of Pokemon and you guess the names of them without knowing them? Because that sounds like the most entertaining thing that I could have all week.
We have to do this.
We have to do that later.
Oh,
that could be a post-show
No,
thing.
I have a better idea.
Yeah?
We show him picture of actual Pokemon and fake one, and he has to guess which one is.
Fakemon. No, don't be mean. Don't be mean. Anyways, to continue the Pokemon train, Enigma asks, so Detective Pikachu has given us the concept that Pokemon can talk and still have devastating Pokemon moves. What Pokemon would you want to be that can talk? So I guess if you could transfer yourself into a Pokemon. And what move would you possess? But I guess if you pick a Pokemon, you would just have that Pokemon's moveset, wouldn't you? So I guess, what Pokemon would you transfer your soul into?
Well, the good thing is I have an answer.
Oh, what is it?
So,
You better not say Pikachu.
no. Since I have no idea of Pokemon, I have to rely on other people's idea. That's why I say Younger Goose, or whatever the name is. And the result
is this the whole reason you had this open?
And the result is... Oh, why can I not scroll? And the result looks something like this.
This is why you had it open the whole time.
Yes, it is.
You had it prepared. I hate it when you're prepared.
And it's also relevant because it was drawn by our guest.
I would be proud of you if I didn't hate it. Anyways, Gray, what Pokemon would you transfer your soul into? God damn it.
I already have this one.
Oh, what is it?
Boop.
Oh, it's an Alolan Meowth. So
Yeah.
Stoner Meowth.
And it
Awesome.
basically looks like, for people who don't know, his Sona.
Ah, it all gets connected. Everything is connected. Everything goes full circle. Nothing has meaning.
Yeah, and another, if it's not this choice, you to probably be a Sneasel, because Sneasel is my favorite Pokemon.
I mean, yeah, I would go with my favorite Pokemon, which is Espeon, which is the psychic evolution of Eevee, because I love psychic Pokemon, and Espeon's very pretty. And also...
Although, would you be green or purple?
I don't want to be a shiny Espeon. Shiny Espeons look like crap. Why would I want Espeon to be green? But, like...
Well, you would have one of the more valuable cards that was printed for the TCG.
Don't care. I rather look good. But, like...
Okay.
But no. I would pick it. Also because it's a psychic type. Psychic types are fucking scary. Have you ever seen a Psybeam? Have you ever seen a Psybeam? It's a fucking beam that shoots from your brain and hurts people.
And I'm immune to it.
Of course you're immune to it, but not the fucking zigzagoon that you made A&Y. I get to shoot them with my brain.
Okay.
But thank you for that question, Enigma. And I think we're out of Pokemon questions. Thank God. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Odie asks, what's the longest running show you stopped watching, and why did you stop? Its ending counts as an answer. What show that ran for a long time that I stopped watching? It's mostly shows that got really bad. I gotta think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, long running.
I mean, I could be cheating by simply going with one of the longest running shows in TV history.
And that would be?
Also, I also stopped watching Simpsons. No, actually, I'm not sure if I have stopped. Period. But I kind of grew out of touch with Doctor Who in the recent season. No particular reason. It was just like I don't know if even though there was a long hiatus or a long dry season between what's 11's name, 12th, 13's name. What was his name?
The Doctor.
They all call it the Doctor. The old grey Scottish guy.
Peter Capaldi?
Yes, Capaldi. Even so, there was a long dry season between Capaldi and whatever her name is.
The Doctor?
Yes!
I'm sorry. It's such an easy joke. I'm sorry. They're all named the Doctor.
No, but I don't know. I mean, if you go by the internet, you find also a million bazillion videos on YouTube like why Doctor Who sucks now. I haven't watched them. Oh no, I have actually watched one which was about one particular episode, and I was like, yeah, this episode was pretty shit. Overall, I'm not sure if I'm just oversaturated or if it really dropped in quality, and without consciously being like, oh yeah, that's the reason I lost but yeah, I lost the hype. I was like, hey, the first 2 or 3 episodes, and not even sure after that. Well, and my second one would be House MD.
You stole my answer, you bastard.
I mean, as I was saying, I did totally not mean House MD. I meant How I Met Your Mother. Did I tell the story about How I Met Your Mother? About how I watched How I Met Your Mother and how I stopped watching it?
No.
Really not.
Do you want to tell us the story of...
Absolutely, so that we all can forget that I ever said House MD. So, no, here was the thing. So I was a big fan in the early seasons, and I turned into the, staying with it fan, and then I also kind of dropped out of it. And then the show ended, and I was like, oh, come on. Now the show is over. Get it. Completionist. Yeah, you see, getting the achievement. I went through all of it. So I probably dropped out around season 5, season 6, whatever. How many were there at the 8?
9.
9.
No
Okay,
idea.
so I guess I dropped out in season 7 or something. So I was like, okay, let's marathon this shit. So I picked up the season where I dropped, like for example 7, marathon all the way through 8, and then I don't know what it was, but I got irritated, and I was like, okay, now only I'm in the second to last season now, and I recall that I was in basically right before the season's finale, and for some reason, I'm not sure if I closed the tab or whatever, the next episodes I watched were the show finale.
I'm so sorry because the series finale of How I Met Your Mother is shit.
I just missed the second to last season finale and the entire last season because I accidentally jumped right to the finale of the entire show, and I was and for people who haven't seen it, I don't know if this counts as spoiler, but
no, it's been like 4 years.
The entire joke of the final episode is that it runs through events super quickly, and therefore I was like kind of confused, like, they're referencing stuff where I thought that was different the last time I watched, because there was an entire season of development in between. No, well, what I want to give the show, but was like, if you look at the footage, this footage of the show's finale has actually been recorded around the time of season 1 and 2. You can especially tell it with the age of the kids and how really, really shitty the makeup job on Ted is. Because they grew a lot better with old people makeup throughout the show. And he has just like his young face and just a little bit of gray color in his hair. It's pretty amazing.
Why didn't you just get Bob Saget to just play him? There's a like you got him to do the narration. Why didn't you just get him to do the old Ted? No.
Because,
also, I hate the last season of How I Met Your Mother. There's my hot take.
I haven't seen the last season, so I cannot say. I only saw the season finale.
It's such shit! They spent the entire last season focusing on Barney and Robin's wedding, and then they completely kibosh it in the finale. It's stupid! Stupid! I hate it! Fuck you, How I Met Your Mother!
But yeah,
I never watched it in the first place, so I'm just watching you guys.
After accidentally watching the show's ending by skipping an entire season, I also never ran back and watched the missing season. So that's how I kind of stopped it by still finishing it, but not with 100%.
I actually remember I think it was after I was like, wait, Lin-Manuel was in BoJack Horseman. We looked up his like Wikipedia thing, and it was like, oh, he was in an episode of How I Met Your Mother. Wait, he was? Which one? Oh wait, I didn't watch it.
Lin-Manuel was in everything.
Oh, yeah. But, no, my answer is probably either House.
Oh, really?
Fuck you. Like, no, House, because, God, that show went on for too fucking long. And also, there's only so much you can do with the same plot every episode. Let's face it.
No, there was a lot of variation.
It's
no, they're totally different every episode.
House has a more formulaic plot than Scooby-Doo.
I know. The only show that I know that has more formulaic episodes is Sailor Moon.
Yeah, but no.
Sailor Moon slightly below is Dr. House.
The other show would probably be Scrubs.
Oh, I also dropped out of that, but I was never passionate enough that I would be like, hey, this was one I stopped watching. I was like, but yeah, okay.
No, wait, I got one better. Death Note. Death Note is the best 25 episode series in the world. Only 25 episodes.
That's when you stop watching.
I stopped watching.
When everybody has to.
I went into after 25. I think I got to like episode 30, and I was like, I don't like this anymore. But no, just Death Note I stopped watching because I was like, look, it's just worse versions of Light. Like, fuck that. What about you, Gray?
Okay, I was thinking, well, I dropped out of a lot of the live action MCU and Marvel shows, but it
like
wasn't
Shield
because
and stuff.
yeah, but it wasn't mostly because they were bad. Mostly because I just didn't have time to watch them. Basically, it became that there's so much of them at once, and I just didn't have time. And I'm just in the mindset that I'm going to come back to them at some point. Just this point didn't happen.
Sounds familiar.
Probably the show that I legitimately dropped out of was the Naruto anime, because they started the Shinobi War saga that was like the last arc of the whole thing, and of course Naruto anime, a buttload of filler. Yeah,
I mean, isn't the only show that's more worse with filler is One Piece that's still going?
Actually, One Piece has a relatively little filler, and a lot of it is pretty good. Actually, one of the running jokes is that it has one of the best filler arc that people have problem believing it's not canon, and one of the worst actual arcs that people think is filler.
That is impressive.
Yeah, and they are right next to each other. Now, but with One Piece, I'll put it this way. Right now it's at 884 episodes.
Oof.
And how many... I'll tell you how many manga chapters, because I'm up to date with the manga chapters. Come on, load.
Why? As the show goes on, the plots get thinner than the waists of the female characters.
Actually,
This
the
means
plot is
something.
getting thicker.
Oh, really?
Like the tits of the female characters.
Female characters.
Possibly.
Ah,
Yeah, the manga is 942 chapters at the moment. Yeah, and like I said, it's actually still good, and I could say I am backed up on this a bit, but I do this consciously because I just like to stock up and like watch about 10 episodes in a marathon or something, especially if it's like a long fight and something this. So instead of just waiting a week, I just want to marathon it.
all right then.
And surprisingly, I'm not the only person.
All right then. Well, Naruto. There you
Yeah.
go. But
How far?
next question from Enigma again. With 2 of the 3 people on the show being artists, excluding A and Y since he can't draw to save his life. That's mean.
Excuse me. I can,
can
draw.
draw.
Yes. Let me find some examples, but please continue reading the question.
But what motivates you to draw, and what motivates you to draw what you draw? Okay, and which piece of art best describes you and your effort into a drawing? I think this is A and Y's answer. Copying me. What about, okay, Max, please, since you're obviously the best artist in this call right now, what
I
motivates
know,
you to
right?
draw?
Oh wait, this one didn't open here. Floop. What does motivate me to draw? The knowledge that drawing enough, that drawing more will get me to a point where it does not look that crappy. I mean, this one is imitating a doodle style, so it's probably a bad example. But if I go, for example, for this one, where I try to imitate just general styles, like gorilla style, I think the gorilla style looks pretty cool, so I tried my hands on that. And the knowledge, like 10,000 hours theory, that if I just would fucking sit down and instead of firing up a video game, like after work every day, like half an hour, when I watch YouTube anyways, just doodling, just getting the muscle memory, getting the fields, getting just doodling just a little bit, just keeping it a regular thing. That if I would keep this up, that I could reach a point where I can produce probably not something that people like those do up there are able of doing, simply for the fact that you guys probably already easily have your 10,000 hours complete. And are at a point where you already can draw and just keep evolving, while I cannot draw. I still need to hatch before I can evolve. And then being able to do something with it, like not art that I could sell, but for example, some goal where I want to maybe this is something for 2019.
Get the dust off your Into Us.
No, yeah, but even more ambitious than just getting it dusted off. I mean, this one here is actually where is it? It's disappeared. This one here is actually just a few weeks old. Doing cinematics, animatics
Yeah.
for short clips from, for example, Gaming in Ties Terraria, because when I go over this, there are sometimes moments like where it's just half a minute or a minute of just bullshit dialogue between me and Yuri, where I'm like, I can't even visualize how you see a rough cartoony version being like, like in the styles of
Like the Game Grumps animated?
yeah, for example, the Game Grumps animated or the co-optional animated, where they also just take the dialogue from the co-optional podcast, but visualize it in a way where it is a lot more dynamic, and it's not just
Like
talking.
Cox and Crendors.
Also true. I mean, those again, Cox and Crendors is maybe a bad example because it lives very strong from its animation itself, while co-optional could also work as a animatic, because I don't see myself becoming an animator in my lifetime. But yeah, the animatic thing, possible. Absolutely possible. If only I would do it. It's just like, just do it!
Just do it! God, we are so up to date on memes.
It's time! It's about time! I don't have a clock on my phone. I associate my phone with my clock.
Isn't that it's time to stop? Where the fuck are your parents?
Yeah, that's
but
Frank.
it's time to stop.
Wrong one.
It's time to stop to not draw. Or to stop procrastinating, huh?
Great.
Yeah, but
what
yeah.
motivates you to draw? Besides the fact that that's your day job too. So
Yeah. Well, what's the best motivator for me is if I really like the idea, or if it's a really fun idea, it's a really cool idea. It doesn't have to even be specific like genre, or like I have a very cartoonish style. But for example, one of my absolute favorite things that I ever did is this thing, which, if you know my art, this is very like kind of unusual. This is basically a day version from the end of my Home by the Sea video, and
it's a house.
yes, and that's because, well, House by the Sea is inspired by my favorite song by Genesis, also called House by the Sea, and I wanted to envision it kind of like, I wanted to envision this idea house from my favorite song, but for about 4 months I wanted to draw it, and I couldn't. I have entire folder of seaside houses. I tried a million times until I saw this on Exploring with Josh, which is actually an abandoned house in the middle of the desert. Yeah, so I drew this in like a day. And this was like the best motivation. Basically, if even like a lot of people noticed, I have a tendency to take time with my art. Unfortunately, although I
take time with your art. Yeah, I know that, Gray.
Yeah, although I'm actually getting better with this. Basically, I either something comes out, like, for example, today my room got rained in because I was doing some work, and I didn't notice that my balcony door was open, and I basically had a lot of water on my floor, and it took me about 2 hours to clean it up. Yeah, basically, like sometimes I get literal rain on my day, or sometimes I just feel that if I draw this, I will half-ass it, and I have to like take a day off and rethink it, and maybe I can do this better, because sometimes I'm drawing something and I don't feel it, and even at work, because I sometimes have to storyboard what is basically a corporate educational video. Like basically it's 10 minutes of exposition and corporate stuff. And if you know anything, exposition is the most unnatural type of speech.
As you know, it is the most unnatural type of speech.
Kind of. Yeah, you have exposition. And yeah, if I got a great idea, I can actually sell this vision to either my boss or the client or something else. And yeah, basically, if I got a great idea, that's the best motivation. Also, if I get people to really enjoy it, if they laugh at it or something else, it's better than money. It's better than, if you know my art, better than boobs. And yeah, it's basically, if I have fun, if I got a great idea, I often say that I take notes, and I literally take notes. I have like a whole folder of ideas that I will spring at people when they least expect it. And yeah, that's basically my answer.
Oh,
So,
I need to talk, don't
exactly. Why do you feel motivated to draw?
That was actually the picture I was going to give you.
Oh my god.
But no, what motivates me to draw, besides the fact that it's my job, is
I mean, chicken or egg, why did you make it your job?
because it feels like a way of escapism. And when I was a kid, I was an overtly imaginative child, probably because I had no friends. But no, sadly enough, that is kind of the reason. Ever since I was a kid, I was just intrigued by cartoons and movies. One of my first little toys was a video camera, and I would make little films and all that stuff. And then, drawing and animation came out, and I would make comics, and I would take composition notebooks and write stories and draw in them. And eventually that just led to illustration and animation. And it's just a way of escaping and taking the weird things that are in my head and visualize them. But the other thing, especially more recently, is learning to have fun. And that not every piece has to be like a Picasso, not a Picasso, that is a Picasso, a Michelangelo. I have learned to just enjoy sketching and doodling, and some of my favorite things are this fucking blob head style that I've done. Honestly, like, some of my favorite things that I've ever drawn is, for years, I would just draw dumb comics of me and Max and send it to him over Skype, being like, I got bored. Have it. And I still do draw them, just now in the blob style, and it's so much fun. But I guess one of my other favorite drawings that I've done, which also shows what where are you? I'm sorry. No, just
I only now noticed that Gray sent another one. That's the problem with images within Skype. I can only show them or have a look on Skype.
I feel like you've complained about Skype. Yeah. Skype's image sending every podcast for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, because sending images through, always, dear future guests who will never see this moment when I speak to you through time and space, send me links and not pictures directly in Skype.
And as a response to that, I will send you pictures directly through Skype.
God fucking damn it.
These two.
2 even. Are you mad, woman?
Yes, yes, 2. My favorite things to draw that I think describe myself very well is one is still a sketch, and the other is I love drawing characters and their interactions, and especially now I've drawn Abby and Theo a lot more in my free time, and they're so cute, and I've been doing little animations of them a lot more, and I don't know. There's just something about making a character and having a connection with that character and drawing it, and I feel like it's projected, especially in that image. You get a very distinct telling of what their personalities are, and without any dialogue or anything. And then the other one is an image I did in one night, and I hated it when I was like, oh my god, this is not good enough. Then I walked away, came back, and I was like, actually, this is pretty damn good. So
I sometimes get it as well.
It's the thing of learning, being faster and just enjoying what you draw, because especially when you do this as your job, it's very easy to burn out and feel like everything is the same thing. And I think that's what I've started to do and learn. My main motivation for drawing is to do something new, and the main priority is not the business side of it, but if I enjoy it. If no one else enjoys the drawing, fuck them. Fuck them. I enjoy it.
Fuck, as we like to say in Gaming and Ties, fuck the audience.
Fuck the chat. But, I mean, that's why during my free time after Pencilmations, I've been drawing a shit ton of furry art. So, it's just enjoyable. And there, you got your serious, heartfelt question. Now.
Yeah. And we're actually down to only one question. We managed to do them all.
I don't know what this question is. I've read it through like 3 times, and it sounds like gibberish.
Wait, you mean the FMG, right? FMK. No, there's another one?
No, yeah, from Jittering Coffee Wizard.
Oh, wait. I missed that one.
In exchange for not paying rent, would you rather be roommates with Goofy the dog and always have to deal with the messes he makes, or roommate with choice of any 2 Muppets and be required to always talk like you're on an episode even when you're at work? Like,
maybe let's just stick with the Goofy version of it, because you can probably find 2 Muppets that are actually
I would just get Statler and Waldorf.
So would I.
So basically 3 old people in one room.
Yes. But no, I would deal with Goofy, because at least he's a good dad. Like
apparently Max is no longer canon.
I could deal with his messes.
I would probably go for not, because I'm too much of man-child man-child myself to have another one of this kind running around. I would not clean up after him. I would not clean up after him.
But Goofy's not a man-child.
Isn't he?
No, he's not. He's a dad.
Apparently Max is no longer canon.
No, I don't care.
Wait,
Max is
what?
canon in my universe.
Okay.
Goof Troop is canon in my world.
What did Disney do?
They just decided to, when Thanos snapped his fingers.
Maybe.
But, no, I get. What about you, Gray? Would you like Goofy in your home?
I don't know. Like I said, I already have to deal with random stuff going on. So
it's just
probably
organic energy.
No, I would say I would go with Peace and Quiet or Statler and Waldorf. It would be like living with the cinema snob.
There was an entire TV show and multiple movies.
What, the Muppets?
No.
Or Goofy.
Same answer, actually, but... Okay, I don't have him anymore. At least not up here. He's probably somewhere down in the cellar.
What, your Statler and Waldorf picture?
No, that is still in the bedroom. No, this sounded wrong. No, actually...
They watch you sleep.
No, they are facing the wall actually.
Oh.
I actually, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I have not thrown it out, so it would still be in a box in the basement. I actually have a little Max figurine from the first movie where he is in this getup of the techno star.
Okay. As a Powerline.
Yeah, exactly, in his Powerline outfit. I have a little figurine of him. So, and they just decanonized him. Now I know how all the Star Wars fans felt.
Here's the thing. They didn't decanonize him, because in my world, if you decanonize him, why the fuck is he a walkable around character at Disneyland?
Oh, is he?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Your move, atheists.
What?
Anyways,
I guess we all
So, apparently Max is a god now in Chris's world.
He's always been a god in my world, but it's his world. I'm just living it.
It's very true.
So it's
I personally call it egotheism.
Is that the name of your religion?
At least when I talk about it. I'm not very cool with other people practicing egotheism as well. I mean, if other people practice youtheism towards me, that's fine again. But for me, it's egotheism.
So what do you call your followers, like myself? Ayonets?
Weirdos and town folks going by the names I used in my Discord.
But I'm not a weirdo or a town folk.
You're a member of the authority.
Am I a demigod then?
No, more like high priest.
Oh.
Anyways, we have one last...
we can talk about religion later.
Did you see Blink Up My Alternative Media?
No.
It would have been Richard Dawkins' God Singamagig, God Delusion.
Oh, nice. But you know what? It is time for our favorite part of the show.
Rob, where's the theme song for Fuck, Marry, Kill?
But yes.
Okay.
We are brought to you by Wolfhead Brony. Fuck, marry, kill. Would you fuck lasagna? I'd fuck lasagna, says Wolfhead. Not me. Fuck, marry, kill pasta edition. Lasagna, spaghetti and meatballs, and instant noodles. He just gets more creative with each one. I fear him more and more every week.
That is very that is very technical. I
believe I have my answer. So, Gray, you want to go first?
Yeah. Guest goes first after you. What would you marry? What would you kill? Even though would these things be alive? Is it lasagna-chan?
No, it would be like in the 9 Dreams that you talked last week about.
Oh God. All right. So tell us.
It was lasagna, spaghetti, and instant noodles, right?
Spaghetti and meatballs and instant noodles.
Okay.
Remember, the balls are involved.
Now, what kind of instant noodles?
I imagine instant ramen.
I also thought ramen instantly. I forgot that there even are other instant noodles that are not ramen.
Are there? Because all I think is cup of noodles and ramen.
No, they actually are. I used to have non-ramen instant noodles a lot during my college days, but I also had ramen.
Gross.
So no, it was actually a little bit more filling because it was like potato.
When I think instant noodles instead of instant ramen, I think of one of those like tomato soup with noodles or something.
What, SpaghettiOs?
No, we don't have SpaghettiOs here. It's basically just like dry macaron and instant soup.
Ew.
Yeah, so probably fuck that.
Why, if I may ask?
Because it can go fuck off.
Fair. Okay, what would you marry and what would you kill?
Now, thinking what kind of... If the lasagna has tuna, I would... No, I would marry that.
Oh.
What kind of cursed timeline are you doing that you have tuna in lasagna?
Hey, tuna, tomatoes, and mushrooms. That's an awesome lasagna.
That's not lasagna. That's cursed.
I see an incoming Twitter feed fede, whatever,
Thread?
thread. No, fight, like fight.
Oh, to Twitter beef. Yeah.
Beef.
The tea will be spilt all over your goddamn shitty tuna lasagna. That's just a casserole at that point. That ain't no lasagna.
Feud. Feud is the fucking word I was looking for twice today already.
Well, if anything, you can look at my OC.
All right. But okay, so and then you would kill spaghetti and meatballs.
Yes.
Alrighty then, Max. What about you?
The good thing is my answer will be half neutral because I was wait. Okay, no, I definitely have a different answer. I mean, it starts with I would not fuck instant noodles because usually how do you make instant noodles?
You pour boiling hot water in
Exactly. And I am not going to stick my dick in boiling hot water.
That is some masochism that I don't want to see.
Exactly. So
yeah. Also, instant noodle ones burnt my tongue, so that's another reason they can go fuck off.
See, you can't do actual intercourse, nor can you do oral with instant noodles, because you'll all either burn your tongue or you'll burn your dick.
But here's the funny thing about instant noodles: you can literally suck them off.
Okay. So would you kill instant noodles or would you marry it then?
Knowing my eating habits, of course I marry them.
Okay, it helps with your saltiness because
I know,
those
right?
things are just full of sodium.
We
So
can
who is
both
your
be
fucking and who
salty.
is your killing?
But yeah, instant noodles, especially ramen, I love them too much to kill them, but I don't want to fuck them because ouch. So now it basically boils down to
You're killing me today. Why? What did I do to you? Who hurt you?
But yeah, now it basically boils down to the point. So, what is more fuckable, lasagna or spaghetti? Like I'm going simply by texture and feel and whatnot. And while I want to have
You're
this
going
on
by the
record,
mechanics.
exactly. While I want to have this on record that I never did the American Pie with either of those two, so I'm just speculating here. I would imagine that the spaghetti and meatballs have a nicer feel than the lasagna. Therefore, I fuck spaghetti and kill lasagna.
I have an argument against that.
There are literally plates. Lasagna is literally plates. So obviously they get cooked to a point where they get mushy, but you still have to.
Well, no, then it would be like fucking a couch cushion because you would stick your dick where the ricotta cheese and ground beef are, and that has a nice squishy texture too. So you could just imagine the like the noodles as like the thighs or like the labia or whatever. So yeah, it's like pie filling.
I guess we leave this open to somebody in the audience courageous enough to venture there and do the live comparison. But Keyframe, how do you feel about pasta?
I'm Italian. That's how I feel about pasta.
You marry all of them.
No.
You are already married to the pasta.
Stop it. I would kill lasagna because I hate lasagna. I don't like ricotta
lasagna. Kill
It
lasagna.
doesn't have to have ricotta cheese. You can have spinach lasagna.
Well, I just don't like the different textures that is in a lasagna because you got ground beef, then you got some type of cheese, and then you got the noodles. And I've never had a lasagna where the noodles did not just disintegrate into mush. This is what happens when you have an. This is what happens. Yeah.
Okay, lasagna is literally a savory layered cake.
Look, I grew up with an Irish woman trying to make Italian food.
Okay.
But like, I love you, Mom, but no.
So did she put potatoes in it?
No, don't give me St. Patrick's Day memories of smelling fucking corned beef and cabbage in my house and making me ill. No, I would just kill lasagna. That can go to Garfield. I would kill it by giving it to a cat.
So give it to me.
Yeah. Yes. You hate Mondays, you got some lasagna. I guess I would marry instant noodles, probably. I just it's a nice strong foundation because especially if you don't put the water on it, so it's just your rock. nice strong man. I don't know what
Or
the masculine.
if you go by
wait.
definition.
You guys have Are you guys? Max, you're in a place where everything has a male or female pronoun. Does pasta have a feminine or masculine pronoun?
In Polish, it has a masculine.
Okay.
I believe in the no, it's feminine in German.
Well, I guess I'll have a bisexual pasta marriage.
You can choose either Polish, which is male, or German, which is female.
But and I would fuck spaghetti because.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is not going to sound good on my part. Imagine that these are sentient.
Can we just go to the post show?
I watched enough hentai
already
to
getting
know where
awkward.
it would go.
Well, last year.
Oh wait, do you want me to stop?
You said awkward.
Yeah.
Well, that's awkward.
It is. So you don't want to give your answer.
I was saying you interrupted my answer. I said I know enough about hentai to know where it would go with spaghetti, because spaghetti is essentially Italian tentacle porn.
And
so you want to fuck the flying spaghetti monster?
No, not the flying spaghetti monster. It would basically be like if Zone Tan made a spaghetti porn. And who knows? That could be fun. There would be sauce everywhere. But
would it be marinara or white sauce?
Ooh.
I'll leave that up. Okay, great. You know what can you guess how you made the situation with that statement?
Bizarre. Or awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward cast. Artwork and analysis, which you do not want to miss on awkward.